FM. Of course, time check is 27 minutes gone past hour of 2, and we sincerely apologize for bringing the PetzVille show at this time due to some, circumstances. Well, we sincerely relate our apologies. We relay our apologies to you. So, Vince and Michelle are poised to take you through another episode of the PetVille show. And today's topic, we will be taking you through basic training techniques for your pet. But first, we actually talked about, as a last week, we talked about decoding pet behavior and, trying to remind you of the few things you should know as a pet lover, as a pet owner, what you could know or you need to know when decoding your pet's behavior. We talked about barking, that's for dogs. We also talked about scratching or windows. We talked about excessive scratching, I think, litter box woes, and a whole lot of things. But today we're focusing on um, pets training 101. But I don't do this alone. I do this with Vince the pet. Hello, Vince.
Hello, Michelle. Good afternoon. It's a
Good.
very big pleasure to be here once again to live on UNICALradio International, just to bring to you the PetzVille show, and it's my honor to guide you through your pet's journey.
Exactly, you heard what Vince the pet has said. It is his honor to guide you through your pet journey. Are you a lover of pet or you are a future lover of pet? Just keep listening or always tune in every Thursday by 2 to 3 p.m. And Vince the pet will take you through your pet journey. So, like I said, on today's show, we are talking about pet training 101. What are those techniques that you need to know when training your pet? Is it a dog? Is it cat? Whatever it is it snake? Okay, but today, because of our time, we'll just be focusing on dogs, just dogs for today, and a particular dog, which is the
Belgium Malinois.
okay. So for the harvest of dogs and pets and all of that, just keep it locked with us for these few minutes and listen to us on.
Okay.
So, like I said, today's show is talking about training your pets, and we know that training pets is essential for their well-being and for fostering a harmonious relationship between pets and their owners. So, today, Vince will be taking us on, like I said, we're going to focus on dogs, and he said it's the Belgium
Malinois.
Malinois. Mm? What are those things for the Belgium, like as a pet owner? What are they supposed to look out for when training their pets?
Okay. First off, you're getting a dog. If you're getting a dog, you're getting a full package, like 100 level excitement to show things and play and all that. So you should be able to like channel the energy or control the energy to actually do what you want to your benefit. So most aspects which people tend to have issues with their dog is the dog always like kind of messing up the place with poo and pee, be it poo and pee and all that, and probably scratching and spoiling of the furniture and all that. But if you got the dog, for instance, now you could probably just see to it that the dog gets the right training. That's the early phase. What you need to do is just see to it that your dog is potty trained. That's
Portraiture.
potty training. That's where you introduce your dog to where you want the dog to be pooing and
Okay.
peeing. So, and if you're doing this, you need to keep up a daily routine of after feeding, because the best time to control when your dog wants to poo and pee is when the dog just finished eating. You
Okay.
understand? Since the dog is still a puppy, probably once you've introduced the dog to the area, 20 minutes, 30 minutes interval, you could take the dog out again to that same spot. So once the dog starts using the place, you praise the dog for it. So slowly, if you do it for a week or two, you go to the door and notify you the dog out to go and pee and poo.
All
So
right. All
yeah.
right. So I don't okay, making research, I also found out that it is important to also reward the
Behaviors,
dog, yes,
yes.
behaviors,
Yeah,
especially when they do a certain thing you've been training them
yeah,
for. So let's say now the potty training.
yeah,
Now this dog has actually got to know that okay, this is where I'm supposed to pee
yeah.
or poop, and then so it is wise for the owner to reward that dog, right?
Yeah, you could. It's wise for you to reward the dog, and by this time now, you could do more praises. You
Okay.
understand? Phase now that your dog is trying to like get used to the spot where you want the dog to be peeing and pooing. You could like allow the dog to do it.
Okay.
Then once the dog just starts the action, then you could introduce a command like go pee or go poo. You understand? So anytime now you're taking the dog out, you keep using the same command. So the dog now understand that this particular command means I should go and relieve myself. And what you tend to do is praise the dog when the dog is doing that. If the dog should pee or poo, even the slightest success you get in what you were hoping to achieve, you praise the dog like he actually did the real thing, and slowly you learn to do the real thing for you.
Oh, nice. So, to you dog lovers out there, I just hope you're listening to this. So, you know you have a dog and you are in the training stage. These are necessary things you need to do. Just like you will reward a human, for doing good or
Yeah,
passing exams and all of that. The dog also deserves a reward or a pet. Like I said, it's a PetzVille, but today our focus is on the dog and a particular dog in quote. Okay, so while training the dogs and commands and all of that, it is also wise to make if it's a family or it's a large household.
yeah.
I think every member should be able to know tell the dog that particular command so that the dog can also know that okay, this is what I'm supposed to do at this time, right?
Yeah. So this is it. The first week, a week or two, is when you're getting to set the command for the dog to understand that this is what this stuff mean. You understand? So call it the coming week. The coming week, you could now see to it that this dog gets to experience a different handler. You
Okay.
understand? Where someone else gets to take the dog out to the same spot and introduce the same
System
command. So it won't
command.
be as if it's one-sided. Absolutely,
Okay.
any other person can do it.
Do it.
And if you're training a dog, make sure you're using this in positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement, that's treat bees, where you get to notice, appreciate every success you get, and don't give up on the slightest failure you get. Encourage the dog. Get to try to bond with your dog. You could teach someone how to train a dog, but you can't teach someone how to bond with your dog. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So okay, I've gotten that point. You could teach someone how to train a dog,
but you can't teach the person
also
how to
how to
bond.
bond
Yeah.
with a dog. Okay. Okay. Amazing. All right. So what are these basic commands one can use as pet lovers? What are these basic commands that you know one can use in training?
Okay, basic commands like when you mean basic command, that's the simple things you should probably show your dog
Yeah.
that early phase when you get your
Yeah.
dog. First, I think one you're separating a dog from a park system. So if you're separating a dog from a park system, you should like um, assume that leadership position. If
Okay.
you don't assume that leadership position, your dog will set the boundary for you. And once it starts setting the boundary for you, that's where your dog becomes destructive and all that. So first, most people will tell you, teach the dog sit. You understand? Teach the dog how to sit. Teach the dog how to lay down. Teach the dog how to probably play fetch. Like I'll tell you now is you flow with your dog energy.
Okay.
You understand? Most dogs are not as energetic as this other breeds. Breeds differs. You understand? So you flow with the energy, but in all you do, try to like use their playtime to your benefit.
Oh.
You understand? So first you set boundary. What you do first is set boundary for the dog. Not like set boundary to the point where you won't notice that this dog is coming down with anxiety issues and anxiety
Dog
disorders.
do
Yeah,
have anxiety issues.
separation anxiety. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like from their park, like mother
Yes.
siblings.
hmm
Oh,
So you're
okay.
taking a dog out from where there is a family system, and now you're like introducing it to a cage or a kennel where it has to learn how to stay there alone. So if your dog is learning how to stay there, you should be comforting that my dad, that's you, will always be there to probably look out, you understand, for me
Okay.
and probably guide me or make me feel safe. Because one thing with dogs, yeah, the all you need to do that early phase is just make your dog feel safe before you even start the training. Because if your dog feels safe around you, then your dog could open up to you, and that way you could get the engagement you need to probably train the dog.
Amazing. Okay, at least I've got to learn that dogs also pass through some anxiety phase.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I remember then when we have dogs, we used to train some. Okay, I think it's just taking me down
Yeah.
memory lanes and all of that.
If
Okay,
you want to see that here, just get a puppy. Just
okay.
go get a new puppy now. Put the dog in a kennel. Just lock the dog up in the kennel for the first time you just brought the dog. First 1 week you brought the
Be
dog,
sad.
the dog will be barking. Even your neighbors. For the first 2 weeks, if you repeat this thing and keep the dog in that kennel, it will bark back to back for 2 weeks. But
Okay,
once you bring the dog out, comfort the dog for a while, make the dog feel like that's part
at
of
home.
the dog learning to accept that place. But you set boundaries for your dog where your dog gets to appreciate his space. Because
Yeah.
if your dog don't appreciate his space, that's where you see your dog barking and giving you this incessant bark where it's as if it does not have control, it's making noise and all
Trying to
that.
tell you,
Yeah,
come take me out of this place. I
exactly.
don't want to be here.
Exactly.
Okay, okay. If you're just joining us, it's still PetzVille show and on 103.5 FM Unicorn Radio International. And Vince the Pet is right here with Bishop to take you on the pets journey. And on today's topic, we are talking pets training, trying to know the techniques of training your pet. So, are you a pet lover? Yes, you can learn a whole lot from this. So far, so good. We've talked about how we can, or how you can train your pet, and most importantly, learn to give reward to your pet because it
Exactly.
is important as well. It is very important. Once you do this, it also makes the pet feel at home
Yeah.
and also feel loved and welcome. So still on training, I got across like leash training. What can you really like throw light on that?
Okay, the leash training, I think what you need to do first, you don't just jump to leash training a dog. You first get the control, set the control, make sure this dog gets to understand sit, basic things like sit,
Sit,
come,
stay, come.
stay, come, and probably fetch, a bit of fetch, you
Okay.
understand? Then you could introduce the leash. And introducing the leash now, you get to introduce the leash in such a way that definitely your dog will complain because it's more like, I'm trying to move. This stuff is holding me back. What's holding me back? Then, if you have a boabo, for instance, definitely you see your dog looking for a way to chew on the leash because he knows that's what's holding him back. So, if which or enjoys the time and the company with you, because leash it's more like another this thing, happy moment for a dog where going out today. Okay, that joy that we are going to listen today.
Okay.
So
Sorry, I just want to cut you there because I want you to like, for those who may not really understand what the word leash
yeah.
is, could you like bring it down to the a common man understanding what
Okay.
leash training is all about?
Okay. Leash training is more like teaching your dog how to walk on a chain. You understand? So because leash is still the same thing as chain.
Thing.
You understand? But we have weaved chain. That's the one they use material, and we have like
The
metal
iron
chain.
thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's all but it's still called leash.
Leash.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. So but it is also advised that if you want to do the leash training, it is best to start indoors or in the first yard. Is that true?
It's best to start indoors because if you don't get the control from inside, you can't get it outside. Because one, you can't get it outside because inside, when all this thing, all the basic stuff, you can't get it first. You have to
Okay.
start from inside. Be it setting boundary, be it teaching a dog how to sit. You can't get first hand result if you're starting from
From
outside.
outside.
But from inside, you could get the dog to understand go pee from inside. And that way now, if you take the dog outside and say go pee, you just look
Just
for a cool
please.
spot and just like got used to doing it on the inside. But if
Okay.
you don't get it right on the inside, you can't get it right on the outside, because outside is filled with distractions. So you need to, because your dog, if you're getting a dog, your dog now, they are all key to that distraction. You understand? They are drawn to distractions. So what you need to do is just make your dog feel safe, then slowly introduce the distraction. Your dog gets used to a certain level of distraction, then you could get the perfection you need outside.
Okay,
Yeah,
so still on the list training, I also come across when it says that use treats to encourage your dog to stay by your side while working. So, what
exactly.
kind of treat can a pet honor? You know, maybe taking a dog on work. What are those treats someone can use to make sure the dog is by or his or her side?
Like I said, if there isn't positive, which I encourage people to use positive reward, that you need to follow the cue. You understand? If you need the sit now, you could cue the dog to sit. You need you reward that behavior. You don't reward after the dog have done the thing. You reward when the dog have
As
given
the
one what
okay,
you want. You understand? Not like 5 minutes or 5 seconds after. You understand?
or a day
Instantly, yeah,
after.
it's just instantly as you're getting the action, you reward immediately. Because now, and it's important for your dog to learn both sign and vocals,
Okay,
because we have sign way of telling your dog to sit, we have a sign way of telling your dog to lay down, and you understand all that. So because first thing, the first language the dog learn is sign, understand the vocals.
vocal.
Like now, I could probably tell a dog to come, but the movement and my body language will tell the dog that I'm trying to tell the dog to move towards me. You understand? Like puppies, if you get a puppy now, for instance, they are drawn to sound, same way children are drawn to
Don't
sound
sound.
from small. That early phase where you're trying to teach your baby how to come, you could probably be doing things like clapping or clapping to get the dog
Yeah.
attention. Yeah, it's the same thing. Same thing applies to the dog. So now, um, treat it's a treat based training, because you need to reward every behavior, like every success counts for a dog, and it's best to work with the dog, like I said, flow with the dog energy. Because if you use negative reinforcement, it's difficult to transfer. If you're using negative reinforcement, I can't tell you how to get sit from this dog, because I use a negative reinforcement where I won't be proud of showing you how I got to the sit. I know if you understand. So that's just the same. But if you use positive reinforcement, I could easily tell you, hold this street like this, position your hand like this, and you will get to the seat. There is no magic in it. It all boils down to how you approach the dog.
Okay. So that brings me to my next question. If it is wise, maybe say a dog misbehave and it is wise to like punish that dog. That I think that's where the negative reinforcement comes in.
Negative reinforcement, that's not, most people have different ways of getting results.
Okay.
Negative reinforcement, that's, you're trying to teach a dog a new behavior,
Yeah.
not as if he knows this behavior. You understand? You're insisting on this, you want, like, okay, you're trying to teach your dog how to leave something. For instance, let's just say you have something in your hand and you don't want
Yeah.
your dog to touch it. You could probably just allow your dog to see what you're holding. Then if your dog still insists on getting the stuff, you close your hand, make sure the scent is no longer that strong. Once the dog withdraw, you praise the dog and reward for it. Slowly, you're sending a message that this particular stuff, anytime I close my hand, I'm trying to tell you to leave it.
Okay, leave it.
You understand? Then slowly now, as you're closing your hand, you could just say leave it, and that way the dog understand. So negative reinforcement now, that's, you see some people now trying to getting a dog to sit now, instead of like cueing the dog to sit, that which is using the right positive reinforcement method
Yeah.
to get the sit. You see someone patting the dog back, bending it down just to
Yeah.
get the dog to sit. You understand? So that way, it's something that most people do and they get results, but that result stays with them, because the dog did that stuff out of fear. Because at some point when the dog tried to stand up or make it look like this particular stuff, it's as if you're forcing me to do what I don't want to do. You understand?
Yeah.
Most people results to probably punishing the dog and doing that. Meanwhile, there are different methods of getting the same result.
Same result.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where
Okay.
the negative reinforcement comes.
All right. So my question still stands. Is it like what kind of punishment? Knowing that, okay, how do you make a dog know that? what maybe he did, the dog did something really wrong,
Okay.
and you want to correct that action so that next time it will not reoccur. So what do you think punishing the dog is actually a good part of training?
Discipline, yes,
Yeah.
it all boils down to discipline. But most people tend to discipline after the action have taken place. So if you're correcting it, you're using its body to correct the dog. Probably the dog is chewing onto something.
Mm.
You could probably grab the snout to show it that this particular thing you're doing is bad.
Bad.
So that way, next time, if you as you just grab, introduce that thing again, you'll see your dog won't want to throw that stuff again because this was the same thing
Same.
I did that caused me this. So definitely you don't want to do it again. But if you should like, you just went out, then you came back after you came back messed up. You didn't catch the dog in the action. So even if you corrected it or punished the dog that period, it will still do it again because I don't know. Okay, this guy just corrected me for something, but I can't process
Process what exactly?
what am I being corrected for? Is it probably I greeted him in a manner which I
You
wasn't
didn't
supposed to greet
like.
him? That's why he
Okay.
corrected me. You understand? So things like that will be playing on the dog's mind. You understand? So it's best you correct the dog where the action is taking
Taking
place,
place
not before. Sorry,
or
not
not
after.
after. Okay. Well, because I see some persons, maybe their dog did something really bad and it gets cane and, flog. And some
That
people,
that part now, your dog will learn to pay attention to you always raising cane when it goes south. You
okay,
understand? But if you, like I said, if you use the dog body to correct, it stays, and that way it will be as if it's still part of the training.
training.
You understand? That's all positive reinforcement. It's a part thing. So you should learn how to understand the body language of this dog. So if you understand the body language of the dog, you could tell how to correct certain behaviors without having to use cane
Cane.
to correct the dog. And that way the dog will still appreciate it.
Okay, guys, you heard so far so good from Vince the Pet, ways you can train your pets, pet training 101. And we have talked about how to train your pet through rewards, positive reinforcement. We also talked about how you can use the command words. We also talked about leash training and also how you can apply discipline to your dogs.
Yeah.
So, well, so far so good. Like we said, we're using dog today. It doesn't mean that there are no other ways you can train other pets, but we promise to always bring you more of this every Thursday from the hours of 2 to 3 p.m. Join us every Thursday because we are here to take you on your pet's journey. So we'll also talk about okay, now we want to talk about the clicker training.
Okay, click out training. Yeah.
Yeah. So at least first, just the way of explaining in a layman term, what is a clicker training?
Okay. Clicker training. I don't know. Clicker training is your idea. It's an idea of training where instead of having to say good or good boy or yes all the time, you click twice.
Mm,
You
like
understand? Yeah, double click.
okay,
It's more
using a
like
thumb up
no, no,
or
no. There's a clicker. It's called clicker.
ah
Yeah. So that stuff it's called the clicker, where
clicker.
you use
Okay.
to train. So instead of having to like praise all the time, that's probably you're
Or
trying
pat the
to
dog
pat
at
the
the
dog all the time.
time.
Once you get the behavior you need, you click either
That
once or
listen.
twice. If you get it right, you click twice. If you get it wrong, you just if it wasn't slow, if it was slow
Yeah.
when trying to do it, you click one. So that way he or she will know
No
that I have to do better
better.
the
Okay.
next time.
So it
So
helps the dog know its performance rate.
yes,
Oh, amazing. Okay. So using a clicker to mark.
yeah,
Okay,
they use it to mark a behavior.
desired
Exactly.
behavior followed by a treat. So if you are a dog lover, cat lover, you can also use the okay. You can also use to help you or guide you while you're going through this training process. It's not going to be easy, I guess.
Yeah.
It's definitely not be easy. So now we come to how do you like gradually help your dog
Like
socialization.
when you said it won't be easy, so yeah, if you're telling them it will be easy, it's a setup. And because you you have a dog, and a dog first responsibility is to play on your mental health. Test your patience.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Test how stable you are mentally. So situation where your dog is trying to do this, exhibiting this behavior, and 2 seconds you're angry, you're getting angry at that dog. Exactly, the dog is winning. And if your dog say I want to do this thing and you give in to that behavior, you've lost it. So like I said, you're exchanging the position. It's either you're being the alpha or the dog is being the
Living the
alpha.
alpha.
So one person must lead. So either your dog is leading you, and or you are leading your dog. And another thing, another point I need to correct. You see, most people encourage behaviors like when you're walking your dog,
Mm-hmm.
you grant permission for your dog to always be ahead of
Straight.
you
Okay.
on the leash. That's
Oh.
where you'll be pulling your dog back. That's the dog leading you outside.
Okay.
If you see a dog walking like that, don't engage the owner. The dog can attack you,
Oh.
can or will attack you because one, the dog is leading the
The
owner,
honor.
and when the dog is leading the owner have like 0 or 5%
5%.
control over that dog. If the dog chooses to go outside, you understand? So it's always advisable when you're walking your dog, it's best your dog walk by your side where the shoulder does not pass your knee. Once the
Okay.
shoulder and the neck pass your knee, then that dog is leading you. And if anything, if the dog wants to attack anybody, if the dog says, I want to do this outside,
Yeah.
that's what the dog will do. I need to get away with it. So back to socialization. Most people tend to like take socialization of a dog for weakness, where if you socialize this dog, at some point it won't be able to like guard the property again, it won't be able to like do its work, it will become too friendly. Socialization is no weakness. Rather, you're exposing the dog mind to how people go about their daily chores and activities. You understand? So that way, if you're walking your dog outside, if your dog should see someone sweeping, he knows this particular person does his own daily routine. If you should see a plumber trying to fix something, he knows that's his own routine. If you see a carpenter or a medicine man trying to
Yeah.
like use shovel, it won't react to it. But situation where your dog is not properly socialized to all these things, it makes it difficult for the dog to, because your dog could pick threat from all these things. Because definitely to make the dog feel uncomfortable each time you want to pass where a medicine man is working with shovel, because your dog is not balanced. So if you're trying to train a dog to be balanced, socialization is key. Socialize your dog is not weakness. Rather, you're exposing that dog mind to different things, and that way he knows how to read different people behavior and he knows when someone is a threat. But if your dog is not properly socialized, to only work with what you're showing the dog. So that's just that.
Okay, thank you so much, Vince, and thank you so much for this tip. So far, so good. Yes, I know we have so much to say, but time is of the essence,
Yeah.
and in as much as we think like really start on time, so we cannot really exhaust all that we have. But I promise you, like every week we're bringing you back to back information on how to take care of your pet. But just a rundown on what we have done today is training your pet and using the dog as an example. It doesn't mean that you cannot apply this to your cat. It doesn't mean you cannot apply this with whatever pet.
Yeah.
I know every pet has their own form of training. True. So it's just for you to make research and see ways you can train your pet and how you can also, you and this pet become compatible. Let me use that word. So we have actually provided you with some general tips, and just like Vince has said, patience and consistency
Yeah.
is the number one key role when it comes to pet training, because my dear, it's not easy. Seriously, pets can just have a way of playing. So you have to be patient to avoid negative reinforcement. You also have to understand body language. You also have to understand the needs of your pet. And once you do this, once you implement these techniques, it can or help you establish good behavior and strengthen the bond between your pets and you. So it's signing out from here, but we are saying that we'll be back next week with more information on how to train your pets. So Vince, what are your last words to your listeners out there?
All right. My last word is try to bond with your dog. Try to bond with whatsoever pet you have, because it's only in bonding that you could get the love and the attention you need, where your dog gets to look up to you for command. Because you could learn how to train, but you can't get anyone that will teach you how to bond. Even a dog whisperer can't teach you how to bond with your dog. That
Yeah.
one you have to like figure it out on your own, because your dog will be showing you all this. So if you're not paying attention to the body sign, you'll miss it. So that's just that. Try to bond with your pet and show them love, and they will love you back in return.
Okay. Okay, as for me, I learned two things. So I'm taking two things back home. First, I learned that someone can teach you how to train your pet, but cannot teach you how to bond with your pet. So that's actually sink really deep. And secondly, I also got to learn that never allow your pet or dog walk ahead of you,
Yeah.
because it shows that that pet is in control. So I don't think you want your pet to always be in control to do it right. Okay, so like Unicorn is known to bring you premium entertainment, education, and information. So until come your way again, keep listening to 103.5 FM.